Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to address some homeschool myths. Even though homeschooling has been around for forever, there seems to be a lot of misconceptions about what goes on. So today we're going to debunk some of the most common misconceptions and myths about homeschooling. Myth number 1. That all homeschoolers are super religious and the reason why their parents homeschool them is to shelter them. While many homeschoolers, especially here in the US, are typically either Christian or Catholic or have some kind of religious affiliation, that's not everyone. There are actually a growing number of secular families who have chosen to homeschool. So Christian or not, I think a lot of families are realizing the awesome freedom you get with homeschooling, as well as the benefits of the individualized learning plans and lesson plans that you can do with homeschooling that you can't quite get at a public school. Okay, myth number 2, homeschoolers are weird. Sometimes, but it doesn't have to do anything with homeschooling, but more about the family or the kid themselves. But you will find the weird people everywhere you look, whether that's homeschooling or private school or whatever. And it's not being weird, it's just people are different, and we need to understand that we can accept people for how they are, not just because they fit in a simple mold that we think is socially acceptable. But yes, socialization is the number one concern that almost everyone has. But here's the thing, I was homeschooled, and not one person can guess that I was homeschooled because I don't fit their mold of what they believe homeschoolers are based on that one family that they happen to meet that happened to be homeschooled. So get that out of your mind, because I guarantee you've met way more homeschoolers than you realize. Myth number 3. Homeschoolers can't get into college. In fact, homeschoolers are more likely to score higher on standardized tests than their public schooling peers. Just like everyone else, if we want to go into college, we have to take our ACTs and our SATs just like everyone else, and we do a pretty good job at it. In fact, almost every homeschooler that I've ever met has a degree of some sort from a good college. All of my siblings, we all went to private colleges. We got into everyone that we applied, and we all graduated as well. Myth number 4. Parents are not qualified to teach their own children. Okay, this one I understand the logic behind, because how can a parent who has not gone to college and gotten their degree to become a teacher be as effective as a teacher who spent all this time learning how to teach? How can they do as good of a job? And here's the thing, not every parent is cut out to be a homeschool parent. That's okay. Homeschooling's not for everyone. But if you choose to do it, there are so many tools out there to help you teach and help you find the right tools that fit your child. Because when you think about it, who knows your child best? You do. I mean, most parents want their children to succeed, so you're going to do whatever it takes to get your kid where they need to go. And even if you're not great at all the subjects, there are so many other tutors and online courses that you can enroll your child in, and they will do just fine. You don't need to do it all. You don't need to teach every subject or be great at every subject in order to homeschool. I know for me personally, once they hit high school, chemistry, algebra, all that, there's no way. But there are many programs online and elsewhere that I know that they'll get a fantastic education even from there. Myth number 5. Homeschoolers can't play sports. Now, when some family members of mine found out we were homeschooling, except for the socialization part, they wanted to know, what about sports? What most people don't understand or don't realize is that most public schools actually allow homeschoolers in their district to play on their sports teams. Now, different states have different laws. A few states actually don't allow the kids to play in their school sports, but most do. Sometimes you have to enroll in a class or two in order to play, but sometimes you don't. Definitely ask your school district what their rules are and see if your kid can join the team. Also, school sports are not the only sports options available, usually. But you can sign up for a ton of extracurricular activities through your YMCA or other community-based programs. But yeah, so far our kids have played t-ball, soccer, and done karate through the YMCA. Myth number 6. Homeschooling parents are stay-at-home moms who don't work. Yeah, some of them stay at home and they choose to stay home and not work outside of the home, but many of us actually do have a job, whether that's outside the home or from home. We're able to juggle both, as difficult as it is. And homeschooling parents are not only moms. In fact, I follow a few dads on Instagram who are single dads, working dads, who homeschool and they make it work. Thankfully, homeschooling gives you the freedom to work it through your schedule, so you don't have to homeschool 8 hours a day. If you work 8 hours a day, you can still fit in a full day's lesson because it shouldn't take more than 2 or 3 hours. You can do that in on the weekend or in the evening, some in the morning, or if you have a helper, whether it's a babysitter or another family member, they can help facilitate lessons and keep your kids on track. And yes, it's super hard, but I know people who've done it and I know that they make it work. The next myth is homeschooling is too expensive. It can be. There are crazy expensive curriculum out there. Personally, I believe they're overpriced, but some people love the full box curriculums. I don't. I prefer to put together my own. But if you can't afford those box curriculums, don't worry. There are so many more options out there. You can actually homeschool for free. Right now, the number one free homeschooling curriculum is called Easy Peasy, All-in-One Homeschool. Right now, The Good and the Beautiful is another one that offers a few free subjects. But yeah, you don't need to order the fancy, super expensive boxes to make your homeschooling work. In fact, if you have a printer and a library card, that's really all you need. For me personally, we use a ton of YouTube videos. I get on Pinterest to learn everything that I can and make crafts. We go to the library. There's not a limited amount of resources to learn what we need to learn. Now, when it comes to high school, I think it's probably harder to keep a free curriculum, but definitely in the elementary and middle school years, you definitely don't need to spend as much money as you think you do. Another myth is that homeschoolers miss out. Now, we already talked about school sports. Homeschoolers can join the sports teams in your state, check your laws. They can also join some of the other extracurricular clubs, but what most people are referring to in here is about prom. Did you know there is actually a thing called homeschool prom? And before you laugh, it is not us just dancing with ourselves or our siblings. I went to homeschool prom. All the homeschoolers in the area got together at another family's house. They had a beautiful barn that they had made for a wedding venue. And so we had a ton of food, dancing, fun games. It was fantastic. Check your area. I know for Indianapolis has an enormous homeschool prom downtown, as well as dancing lessons beforehand, just in case your kid wants some practice before they attend the dance. And the last myth that I have for today is that all homeschool families are anti-public school. That's not true for everyone. I do know a few that have very strong opinions, but I also know many public schoolers that are very strongly opinionated against homeschooling, when in fact most of us are actually pretty middle ground. I have probably a dozen really great friends who are public school teachers, and I love what they do and I love their heart for teaching. For those who didn't watch my welcome video, I was public schooled from kindergarten through 4th grade and I loved it. I had a great time with it and I loved my friends and my teachers, but I also really liked a lot of the aspects of homeschooling. And I think for us personally, we will fix some of the things that I didn't like so much about homeschooling and make it great for my own kids. But yeah, just because we homeschool, it does not mean we're anti-public school, and would absolutely love to hang out afterwards, get some coffee if you're a coffee drinker, and let's just all be friends. Because really, this parenting thing is hard, and whether you're public schooling or homeschooling, we really need each other to help figure it all out. I'm a big believer in community and supporting each other as we figure everything out that comes along with having children. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope that was helpful, and I hope I helped debunk some myths. If you have more, feel free to comment, and I will do my best to answer that or confirm. We will see. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I will continue posting videos as best I can. But until then, I hope you're doing great, and I will see you next time.